And yes, welcome to a beautifully sunny development corner here in Barcelona. And let's just run the rule over some of the changes on Ferrari. We can't see all the Ferrari changes here, but we can see quite a few of them. First of all, in the brake duct area, they've really maximised that. They're already going with the blown front axle, which we've seen for the past few races. They're just maximising the returns they get from that. We move southwards on the car. We can see a brand new barge board with a little winglet built into it now. You can see there's that little split in that barge board, triangular winglet there, which is very nice. And then we get to the really interesting part, which is these shrunken new side pods. So you can see there's a real sort of groove in there where not only there's the little D wing, it looks like a little D just above that Claro logo there, but also if I take the little magnifier away, you can see it's really shrunk. There's a little step there, isn't there, in the bodywork, the side pod, just going up from the midsection up to the top. And that has actually shortened the side pods to make it aerodynamically better, more efficient towards the back. So nice work by Ferrari. A lot of new stuff on this Ferrari, and that's going to be fascinating to see how much closer to Mercedes it puts them. Let's compare the Red Bull noses here. We have the new one on the left here. As you look at it, it's much shorter in terms of the distance from the bulkhead down to this part of the nose. And then no wonder it took 4 attempts to get through the crash test, because that very, very small little join from the pillars to the main front wing support, when you compare it to its rather more sort of beefed up cousin. This is the old front wing on there on the Red Bull. Okay, let's have a look at the McLaren before we have a look at the Mercedes. And again, they've just gone back to their regular sort of wishbone rear suspension. Just comes out in a straight line there and then straight in, rather than a little sort of dogleg as it used to on previous McLarens. That seems to be new here. We can have a look hopefully at the Mercedes, and if you're really, really careful and you've got a very keen eye, have a look at this little winglet there. See, I told you it's small things that are coming to the Mercedes. So that's just a little winglet along with some other winglets on the Mercedes which they're working on. There's a little vent in the Mercedes bodywork to help with some of the cooling problems they've got. That vent is there. They're using the paint just to see whether the air is getting into that vent, which seems it is just about. But this is interesting on the Mercedes pit stop. This is a pit stop from Mercedes at the last race in Bahrain, and have a look at the front guy holding the tyre. They have to hold these little boards as a marker for where the driver should aim their front tyre at. But then what they found was that it was slightly cumbersome for the guys to actually then take off the front wheel, because they had these bits of cardboard on the front of their hands. So now the clever guys at Mercedes, with Ron Meadows in charge, have changed it to just some gloves. So on the other side, you've got these little sort of hashed gloves. So now they're not having the board anymore, but they're having what looks like sort of Catalan flag slightly on there, isn't it? They're having the new pit board, pit lane and pit stop gloves. Small thing, but I thought it was interesting. Just finally on for Mercedes on a barge board. There you go. Told you it was small things making all the difference for Mercedes. Little improvements for the current world champions. But we'll have more throughout